Hey there, folks. How's it going? I hope you can hear me. Hey, lots of folks here I know, lots of people I see that I recognize. Wonderful. Let's see. Let's see who's here first and say some hellos and wait for some folks to flow in. I don't really have a plan tonight. I just wanted to get on and enjoy getting to know you guys and telling you thank you and chatting with everybody. 150,000 subscribers is a big milestone for any YouTube channel, and I'm just really happy to be the recipient of such generosity from you folks. Let's see who's here. Lauren, I said hello to you. How you doing, Lauren? Adam, Aker, Brett. How you doing, Brett? Yeah, thank you for the congratulations. 150, man, that's a big deal. I hope you get there too soon. Suburban Hillbilly, how you doing? I like that name. Ronald Broussard, how you doing from Louisiana? Louisiana, next door neighbors. Melissa, how you doing? Great to see you here. April, hi there from Katy. Hey, you're a neighbor from the big metropolis of Katy, Texas. Katy was named after the MKT, Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad, which used to run through there. I lived on I-10 at Wirt Road in Houston, and I lived there in the last days of the MKT Railroad. Used to be a railroad track running along I-10, if you can believe it or not. Claudia, how you doing? I'm losing my spot here. Indiana, Claudia, welcome. A mental hospital, Belt Loop 29. Well, I hope you get better. Oh, you're at work. Well, okay. That's a better condition to be in when you're in a mental hospital, I suppose. Hey, Rick, how you doing? Will it grow? How you doing, John? Let's see here. Thank you, John. I appreciate your kind words. Say hello to Bella for us. Monkey Mommy, thank you for the congratulations. Josette Tharp, how you doing? From Montgomery County. You're my neighbor. I appreciate all your comments. Riverdale Gardens, Rick Thielen. Is it Thielen? I hope it's Thielen. Good job. Loud and clear. Good job. That means my mic is doing good work. A Peacemaker, Alabama. We were talking about Alabama last night. We have a family night every Thursday night where my kids and me and our grand folks, we all get together and enjoy an evening together. And we were talking about places, and Alabama came up. Peanuts, peppers. Hey, Mage Grey Wolf. Get some dinner before sitting and listening. I hope it's good. I'm gonna have an oven gold turkey wrap for dinner. One of those days where we kind of fend for ourselves. Low Country Gardener, thank you for the subscribe. What am I trying to say? Thank you for the congratulations. It's live, real YouTube content here. A Peacemaker, welcome. Wow, everybody's coming in now. There's so many people. I'm not going to be able to say hello to all of you, but and the chat thing just jumped on me, so I'm not able to keep up. Well, I guess that's how it is when there's so many people coming in. All right. Hey, Debbie, all those tomatoes getting peppers planted. Good job. Monkey Food Gardening. Phoebe is just inside the house. She is doing well. Phoebe is, she had her last doctor visit last week and was declared okay, fixed. And she's doing, her leg is, her surgery leg, the leg that was repaired, is now stronger than her leg that was not affected, her natural leg. The fear is, and the prediction from the doctors is, that every time a dog blows one of its ACLs or its knee out, you can expect the other one to go too. And that's because the dog compensates for the wounded leg with the other leg, and oftentimes will blow it out. But now that she's doing well, now that she is back to health, we are trying to get her muscle tone back up by taking her out, let her do some running around. The fear is, we've got crazy dogs in our neighborhood, in every house around my house. And when there's a dog outside, you know how dogs are, they bark at each other through the fence, and they go back and forth and go out outrageously crazy. that's when Phoebe's going to blow out her other leg. So I have to make sure that she is not going crazy out there. Right now, there are 2 boxer dogs in the yard next to me going crazy out of their mind. They're visiting dogs. They're annoying everybody. Their incessant barking is outrageous. You might be able to hear it. Nothing I can do about that, but as long as they're out there, Phoebe can go in the backyard. So I need to gently ease her back into regular life. Lots of people here, lots of folks I don't recognize. So maybe some of you folks joining us are some of the new subscribers that pushed us over 150,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. One of the things I would like to ask my subscribers is, what are the things you appreciate the most? What are the videos that are useful to you, and what would you like to see in the future? Here's the reality of this spring. I've been kind of slumming it this spring. I haven't been putting a bunch of effort into making videos just right now. And the reason is we've had Phoebe and all that. My daughter's getting married very soon. We've had marriage stuff going on. We had a home renovation going on in the middle of the spring growing season. So, yeah, it's rough to get videos done when you've got to paint your walls and be on top of contractors and things like that. And so some of my videos have been easy to make videos, where I can just set up a camera, let it roll, and talk. I do have some plans to do some how-to videos coming up, but most of those are redos of things I've done in the past, where I will clarify techniques and how-tos, like how to trellis tomatoes to a single string, how to grow sweet potato slips. It's not too early, folks, to think about summer gardening, and sweet potatoes are one of those. So yeah, what do you want to see, and what is useful, what's helpful? Currently, right now, all my older videos from last year and the year before are doing really well, because everybody out there in the zones above me want to start gardening now, and so all the basic gardening channels are, all the basic gardening tasks are being searched on YouTube. Claudia Beyer says you'd like to see a lot about my grapes and fruit trees. Yeah, I certainly will do a lot about fruit trees and grapes. The only issue with these kind of perennials is, well, it takes a long time for those to grow and anything to happen. So those videos come whenever the trees and fruit trees and vines allow me to, do some teaching. I taught how to corrective prune those muscadine grapes, and now they're putting on fresh growth. It's about time for me to, well, there's not a whole lot to do right now with the apple trees and the stone fruit trees. So, yeah, it's going to be a while before we have videos on those. But yeah, I really love those. I've got a lot of fruit berries coming in, and that's encouraging. Last year, I planted some thornless blackberries, and they're putting on lots of blossoms. I've learned a lot about how to prune those and get maximum production. Those kinds of berries fruit on second-year growth. So yeah, it's interesting to see them grow and flesh out with new growth, and we look forward to some blackberries. So yeah, I'll certainly be doing some fruit stuff. Hey, I've got a neighbor in Lake Jackson, Fran Walker. You enjoy the videos, and you've recommended them to your son who lives in Bastrop Bayou. Fran, there's a great fruit producer in Lake Jackson named John Panzarella Citrus, and he has an open house in December. If you're at all interested in citrus, that's the place to be. Look, John Panzarella Citrus up on Facebook, and he's in your neck of the woods. I went down there and got some citrus. Lila L. Virginia. I've only been to Virginia stopping in airports, I think. I hear it's nice. Yeah, Claudia, my fruit trees are putting on all kinds of blossoms, especially my citrus. There's tons of blossoms, and you can grow citrus. Citrus trees are not just for Florida and Southern California. You can grow citrus up into 8A if you get some cold tolerant varieties, and they'll do well for you, especially if you can provide them with some cover when it gets down into the teens. Otherwise, you're good to go, and those citrus trees will grow for you. The only problem with citrus in Florida and my area and places like that where citrus was grown commercially is the citrus greening virus. It's a bacteria, citrus greening bacteria. bacteria, and it's devastated commercial citrus growing in Florida, especially. Florida is no longer a great place to grow citrus commercially because of that bacteria. It's carried by the citrus psyllid, the Asian citrus psyllid, a bug, and yeah, it really devastates those citrus trees. Once you get it, you can't get rid of it. There are some university studies that have found ways to get rid of that bacteria, but they're still in testing modes. The audio's breaking up, Heart of Texas. I'm sorry. I don't know that there's much I can do about that. Um, yeah, you hear those dogs barking, John. They're crazy. Those dogs are absolutely annoying. My mic is my laptop mic. So if it's a mic problem, it's probably just a streaming issue. So, you can hear the dogs? Really? I'm sorry, folks. There's not much I can do about that. These dogs are annoying me, and it's crazy. Is the sound really that great? I've got some folks, Matt and Claudia, saying the sound is good. John says the sound is good. See you later, Debbie. Thanks, Joan. You hear just fine. Good job. Yeah, I don't know if the oak leaves, Mage Grey Wolf. I don't know. It's helping. That's good. That's good. The citrus greening is a real problem in some areas. We have a citrus quarantine in our area. You can't take citrus in or out of our area. You have to buy citrus that was grown here. So yeah, it helps. It really does help to kind of isolate the citrus greening bacteria. Redfish, Tex 73. The growing season is hard here a tad north of Houston. It's hit hard because 2 winters ago, the plants here were pollinating with a vengeance. You know, that epic freeze we had did something to our growing season, and we're just now coming out of recovering from that. My fig trees did not do well last year because of that freeze, and they're just now coming out of it. I chose not to prune my fig trees this year just to give them a chance to recover and see what's going on. But yeah, we had that big epic freeze, and it was crazy. It caused a lot of imbalance in the ecosystem. I had more pests last year than I've ever had before, new pests. And I've said this in videos. I think it was because of that freeze. Pardon. I think that freeze killed off some of the beneficial insects while and left a gap there where these bad insects could move in. So, all right, I'm seeing the sound is good now. So, yeah, tomato worms, BD. You mean like hornworms? I had hornworms last year more than I've ever had. Also had army worms in my tomatoes, and they decimated the tomatoes. So, yeah, it was a bad year. Thank you, Sheila, for loving my videos. I'm hoping that you, as a first time gardener, will have good success. Gardening's not that hard, um, in the basic sense. When when you just think about, you just need some healthy soil and some good seeds, and it's really not that hard with a little bit of care. So you don't have to be all worried that your garden has to be perfect. You don't have to have you don't have to have everything perfectly weed free, and it doesn't have to look pretty, as long as you get your goals met. I grow fruit trees, and sometimes, like my Owari Satsuma orange is all curled over on itself, and I want that tree to be pretty, but I want oranges more than I want a pretty tree. So yeah, so I end up not caring about what the tree looks like there. Let's see. John, your message got held for review. I'm going to show it because, yes, the dogs sound like they just got taken in. They're not barking at the moment. So, ultimate gardening in South Florida, citrus is a nightmare. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Citrus in South Florida used to be the thing, but once they got that Asian psyllid in there that spread the greening bacteria, it was bad. Orchid supply store. Hey, I'm about to review your stuff. I've got your bags of that mountain gold. I've got it sitting ready to review and compare against some other common gardening soils. And man, I want to tell you right now, Ken, I love that stuff. It's some of the best stuff I've ever used. So I'm about to do that review. It's in the docket. In fact, let's see. I've got sweet potato, best soil video. That's your video, trellising video, and a new Q&A. Those are in the short list of videos to do. So welcome, Ken. I'm glad you're here from Orchid Supply Store. You guys, Orchid Supply Store has supplied me with some excellent gardening materials. So be on the lookout for videos about that material. It's good stuff. Eagle Lover, Texas, you're on the other side of the Beltway. Eagle Lover. You know, there's some nesting bald eagles in our area right now. Empress Kimberly, you're not late. Don't worry about that. Just the fact that you showed up, I appreciate it. Glad to see you here. Thank you for recommending my videos, Tie-Dyed and Dawn. I'm not going to be able to get to all y'all's questions. It's going too fast. There's a lot of folks in here, 87 people in here right now. Thank you so much for showing up. I'm just so touched that we got 150,000 subscribers. When I began my channel, it was mainly to just kind of extend and add another platform for what I already did. I did blogging, and I always like to teach. I'm kind of naturally someone who feels compelled to teach, and whether I teach good or not, that's for people to decide. But I always enjoyed it, and so I had a blog, Black Gumbo Southern Gardening blog. It's actually still out there, but I don't post on it anymore. But yeah, I started off these videos just thinking, well, I'll put my stuff out there and whoever wants to watch it can watch it. And I got a couple hundred subscribers in the first year. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I have an audience that wants to hear what I have to say. So I started doing that. And I think just providing information that's basic, simple, and not shouting, not in your face, seemed to work for me. And I appreciate all of you agreeing with that formula that you just want to know how to garden. You just want to know how to do some simple things. I'm not teaching anything that you probably can't get anywhere else. But what I think I try to do different is to just kind of like be your next door neighbor. And that seems to work. So let's see. Thank you for the congratulations. Mary Playford, thank you so much. Sherry Tompkins, thank you. Yeah, Phoebe, she's doing well. John, you're going to be growing ping pong broccoli just like I did. I hope it worked. Yeah, broccoli, man. Broccoli grows easy for me in the winter. I just have to watch out for caterpillars and cabbage worms. But why so many lanterns? Arnulfo Riojas. I like oil lanterns. I collected them for a while, but they also come in really handy in the wintertime. This garage right here is my office. It's my office for my daytime work. I sit out here and prepare sermons and study, read, but it's also where I do my video editing. And in the winter, those lanterns can give off an amazing amount of heat when it gets cold. But I also just like them. Thirdly, they come in handy when the power goes out when we have hurricanes. Although we have other options for lighting now, they still come in handy. So I just like having those lanterns. So there you go, Arnulfo. That's why I have them. And they're not those cheap ones. I actually have bought decent lanterns over the years, and those are some of them. So, Lila, thanks for enjoying my laid back manner of teaching, and Phoebe. Yeah, Phoebe, I think probably accounts for half of my subscribers. So, 600 tomatoes, 500 peppers, 300 cabbages, Starla Doak wagon, hollow homestead. That is a lot of stuff. I wish I had a homestead. I have a small garden, backyard garden. Homesteading for me would be something I would jump into with both feet. I am tied to my area by my calling and my work. So I'm a pastor of a church and I love my congregation. And because of that, I'm right here. Should society collapse and what I have here on my quarter acre in the suburbs can't sustain me, well, I go down. It's just the way it is. And I'm okay with that. So I have accepted my reality and that's the way it is. And I'm happy and at peace with it. So how do we get rid of tomato worms in Daytona Beach, BD? if you're talking about tomato hornworms, I suggest getting a UV flashlight, going out at night and hunting them down. They glow in the UV light. You can easily find them, and just drop them in some soapy water. So that's how I do it. I don't spray for them or anything. I had hornworms last year. Man, I had some as big as my thumb, and if you could eat them, we'd have been eating a whole meal. But yeah, they're easy to pluck by hand. It's the army worms you got to spray for, and I would use a BT. BT is a bacterial-based organic insecticide, and it deals with those soft-bodied chewing insects and things like caterpillars. I wiped out the caterpillars that were killing my grapevines with BT. BT, bacteria thuringiensis. I don't know how to say it, but any kind of herbal organic insecticide that has BT in it is what you want to use for caterpillars. So I feel like your favorite high school English teacher, Grassroots Garden. My favorite high school English teacher was a very short-statured man named Harold Briggs, and he was kind of a nerdy guy, almost like a cartoon character from the old Bloom County uh, comic strip. And I loved him so much because he was just so exasperated with us rebellious teenagers, but he did his work, he did it well, and I respected him for that. So yeah, let me scroll down and catch up with y'all's comments. Let's see. Yeah, when you start calling the God of the Bible Satan, you don't understand the Bible. I will not approve that comment. That's just absolute ignorance. Hornworms are weird to pick by hand. They can't hurt you, but they feel like, yeah, they're strong. When you pick one of those and it's a big, strong one, man, they'll feel like like when you grab if you've ever grabbed a big snake and you think get it right behind its jaws on the neck and it's not going to be able to hurt me, but it wraps around your arm and you feel that strength. Yeah, those are um, those are weird. Sorry, I'm doing some moderation here. Those are some weird experiences. So yeah, you're gone. See you later, Raw. I attach small tree branches to my tomato supports. The birds land on them and pluck the worms off. That's smart, Mayday Garden. Have I done a video on tomato problems? April Watson wants to ask. Mine started out so lush and green, I fertilized them with Neptune's harvest, but some, not all, have started turning yellow. Maybe you're fertilizing them too much. I go on like a 3-week rotation with the tomatoes and give them that Neptune's harvest. But if you've got some real lush and fertile soil already, you may be giving them a little bit too much. The other problem might be the opposite end. If it's been raining a lot where you are and it's washing that liquid fertilizer out and your soil that you started with isn't all that great to begin with, maybe they need some nitrogen. So yeah, consider those and move on what's been happening in your area. So um, I haven't had any trouble with fertilizing on a 2 to 3 week schedule with that Neptune's harvest, but man, that fertilizer has become expensive these days. Someone's talking about sugarcane here. Tammy Bolander and Melissa Royer. You know what? We started sugarcane two or 3 years ago at my son's house, and it was in thick, wet clay, and it came up and it did really well, but the freeze got it. I wish I could show it to you today, man. It was so awesome. You can grow sugarcane here in Zone 9A. Will it grow? I'll make you a mod. There you go. You're a moderator. Yeah, we just had that one guy. What's next for the channel, Lauren? What videos are you looking forward to on my channel? I think I mentioned I'm doing some sweet potato slips. I'm going to do a review of some soil that Ken over at Orchid Supply Store sent me. Good stuff, by the way. I'm going to review that, and so that's kind of like its own video. I'm going to do some trellising of my tomatoes, my Edox tomatoes, and show yet another video of how to trellis them up a single vine. I'm going to do a gardening Q&A. We're going to have a garden tour, and I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do after that. I've got some ideas. Danny and Wanda at Deep South Homestead, we've tentatively, but not really talked about doing a video together. And one thing I want to ask them, Danny, I want to ask him suggestions for small gardeners in tough times, because Danny knows how to garden. Danny can grow stuff. Rachel from Oxheart Gardening will be visiting me this coming week, and I'm going to interview her. I don't know entirely what we're going to do for her channel, but for my channel, I'm going to interview her on what she's learned as a new gardener with three years under her belt. So, Brett, I'm going to make you a moderator too. There we go. I haven't had any trouble except for that one guy, so y'all probably don't have any work to do tonight. So, but thank you so much for offering. I trust both of you fellas. Do you have to plant squash in mounds from the Doberman gang? No, you don't. And generally, when they talk about a mound and planting squash, what I've found is if I make just a little mound about this big, 18 inches wide and about 6 inches tall, that mound dries out really quick because I'm planting in good soil. I just stick them right in the ground. I planted my squash this year. I didn't mound anything up, and they're doing just great. So the reason you don't want those seeds to rot in standing water or undraining soil. So no, you don't have to plant them in a mound. So let's see if we've got any other questions. Sherry, Sherry, I'm going to do sweet potato slips. In fact, let me show you this. Let me show you. My sweet potatoes that I harvested last year, the ones I have left are already putting on a lot of growth. And I'm like, I didn't even put these dudes in the water or in the ground, and they're already putting up some slips. But in order to get these to grow the roots that we need, this would be a slip if it had roots. I need to stick it in some water and submerge that, and or I need to put it in some moist soil and keep it moist so that these will send out roots. And once you get the roots, you can snap this off. You got a new plant. That's called a slip. But they're already head starting for me. Yeah, so these are my seed potatoes for this year, and they're eager. So I'm going to get them in. I'm going to show you a video on 2 ways that you can do sweet potato slips: the water in the jar method, which works just great, or the stick them in a pot and keep them moist method, which works great as well. So that's coming up. Let's see here. Yeah, Mr. Danny is the farmer's guru monkey. He's something else. He's the one who taught me how to grow sweet sugar cane, and so I used his method for growing sugar cane, and it worked just fine. And I really wanted to get a harvest of sugar cane. My brother-in-law was wanting to make some syrup, and I just wanted to grow sugar cane, but we had to freeze. So, Melissa, my sweet potato slips I don't start until just about now because I consider them a summer crop, and I harvest them in October, November. So if you have a long growing season, you're not too late. But if you got a short growing season, yeah, they should be growing up and getting some roots on them by now. So Mayday Garden, a video on the difference between growing organic potatoes versus seed potatoes. I don't grow a lot of normal potatoes. I grew some a few years ago, and I had diseases. I had a virus in the potatoes, and I grew the wrong kind. I grew determinants that you don't hill up, and then the indeterminates are the ones that you hill up and they keep on producing for you. I just didn't have very good luck with them, and potatoes are so cheap at the store that I don't see the reason to grow them in my own garden when I like sweet potatoes better, and sweet potatoes grow like weeds for me. In fact, I've got sweet potatoes coming up in my garden voluntarily right now. So if I decide to grow potatoes one year, I certainly will do videos on them, but I think that's probably not a crop I'm going to put in. Yeah, Empress Kimberly, I'm a pastor. That's my that's my day work, and I pastor church in Missouri City, Texas, which is also a suburb of Houston, like Friendswood, where I live, is. And yeah, we have 6 baptisms coming this Lord's Day, this Sunday, and it's good. It's a good week. So yeah, that's my day work. If you didn't know. Thank you, Sandra. I'm glad you enjoyed the help in the garden. Thank you for the congratulations. Let's see here. Alan Turpin's here. Welcome. Seeing some familiar names, and I'm seeing a lot of names, folks. I have not seen a lot of you folks around before. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm so great. God didn't put sweet potatoes in water, start them in the soil. Curious Yellow Cuda. I start them both ways. I like to see the growth in the water, and it's fun for my son to help me do. It's something for us to enjoy in the house inside. But I also stick them out in the soil and let them grow that way. So 6 a.m. watch videos before work. John, you get up and go to work early. You got to get out there before the oysters run off, right? Let's see here. Thank you, Orig Crad. Congratulations, and thanks for saying it's not too late for sweet potatoes. Yeah, don't give up on them yet, especially if you're in zone 9, zone 8. You got plenty of time. And they will also grow right here in my area. The problem with sweet potatoes need to sense a change in season. Usually that's because of the length of day, but it also sometimes is pinned to temperature. And once they sense that change of season, they start packing all their resources into building the potatoes. They're not technically a tuber, but we call them that anyway. The problem with sweet potatoes in my area is they never really sense that change. So some of them build potatoes, some of them just keep growing and building blossoms. And so I never get the biggest harvest I could if I had a definite change of climate. Last year we didn't. We had a very late fall. It stayed hot well into December. So let us see Phoebe, WC Rex 103 Nelson. Go look at my Phoebe video I just posted last week. Phoebe is back and she is in good shape. So she will be in our videos, and yeah, she's doing a lot better. She had a spa day today. Phoebe went to get groomed, and they laughed at her because the doctors had shaved her back quarter panel, and so she's still growing that hair back. Yeah, my son, a peacemaker. I love the videos with my son as well. My son is a teenager now. My youngest son, Samuel. When I started my channel, he had a squeaky voice. He was a little pencil neck little kid, and we'd get out there and garden, and I loved it. And I love to see those videos with him. Now he's got a booming voice, a man voice, and my wife and I can't tell him apart from our oldest son, who's 27, 28. But Samuel is very busy with school right now, so he doesn't get out in the garden with me as much, but sometimes he does. And I love when he's out there with me too. I like his heart too, a peacemaker. He's getting baptized this Sunday, by the way. So I'm the bomb. Thanks, Cindy Bernstein. I don't know that I'm the bomb, but I'll take that. I'll take that one. Talk about my one seed challenge, Melissa Kingry. Is it Kingry or Kendry? Kingry. I'm going to go with Kingry. Single seed challenge. I hope you're doing the single seed challenge. It is the idea that when we gardeners are gardening, we usually take a pack of seeds or a bag of seeds and we plant a crop. And we look at our crop as an overall crop. We don't usually focus in on individual plants, except when we prune them. But we're in production mode and system mode, and we're not focusing on one plant. The single seed challenge is designed to cause gardeners to slow down, take a breath, plant one seed of a variety that you probably aren't growing in your garden, and plant that variety, grow it up, and tend it, baby it, and care for it, and appreciate the potential of one seed to grow into a plant, to fruit, and to complete its life cycle. What it does is it causes us to appreciate that potential in a seed and see the beauty of nature, and to see just enjoy growing a single plant, one plant. And a lot of people all over the world have participated. All you have to do is make videos using the hashtag Single Seed Challenge 2022, and you can search that hashtag or click on that hashtag and see all the other people across the world that are doing the challenge. I began this challenge 3 years ago, and people have done all kinds of different crazy plants. And so yeah, my single seed challenge is about that big. It's a pepper plant. In fact, John, who's Will It Grow here on the chat here, he's one of the moderators. John sent me that seed, and that's the one I'm growing for my single seed challenge this year. I had another single seed challenge that didn't come up. In fact, I think the one John sent me was my third attempt. If your single seed fails to germinate, start over. You got all year to do it. So it's not a challenge to other gardeners. It's just a way to appreciate the potential that is found in one tiny little seed, and make videos so we can see. There are some real interesting varieties being grown in the single seed challenge this year, but most of them, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, most of them are tomatoes and peppers. But there are folks growing loofah gourds, moringa trees. There's people doing some really weird stuff. So let's see. Let me catch up with the chat. Yeah, it's going to be a good pepper, John. I hope it does well. The leaf miners have already attacked it, and that's my biggest problem with peppers. Is I've got leaf miners. 7B pottery. Yeah, you really should. It's really fun to do. It's especially fun to do with kids. In fact, there's a guy here in Houston. Man, I wish I could remember his channel offhand here. There's a guy here in Houston. He's got a newer channel. He started his channel last year to do the single seed challenge, and he's doing his single seed challenge. And there's also a second grade class at his local elementary school in which he's gone, and they're doing a single seed challenge too. So it's really good for kids. Something's eating your seedlings. You think they're earwigs, Elegant. How do you stop them? Well, first you got to know what they are. They might not be earwigs. They could be cutworms. They could be fungus gnats. They could be a number of things. If they're earwigs, man, folks, I've never had an earwig problem. So let us know what you would do. Let Elegant know what you would do to deal with earwigs eating your seedlings. I had a problem with cutworms eating my brassica seedlings this past year, and I showed you in a video that I did some collars around the base of the plants, and that stopped the cutworms. So, hey, Connie, welcome. How you doing? Mark Oliver's here. Your celery is growing slow. Yeah, my celery grew slow too, but once I got it in the ground, it kind of took off. You grew yours from seed, didn't you, Mark, if I remember correctly? Let's see here. No, they have pinchers on their rear. Yeah, those are earwigs then. I don't know what to do about earwigs, Elegant. I wish I could help you. A insecticide and an organic insecticide that would deal with earwigs. Look into what pyrethrin will do. Look and see if earwigs are in the list of things that it can kill. Pyrethrins, or what's the other one? There's BT, which is for caterpillars. There's pyrethrin. There's another organic insecticide. Give me a second. Let's see. And of course, I can't find it. Of course, I can't find it when I need it. It's in the backyard. It's not on my shelf. What is it I'm trying to... Captain Jack's dead bug includes this ingredient, I think. And yes, Spinosad. There it is. Let's Grow Texas. That's the one I'm looking for. Spinosad. Try some organic, I say organic. Try some natural insecticide that includes Spinosad. I think Spinosad would probably work with earwigs, but you need to look at what it kills. You need to look at the label. So thank you, Mary H. I appreciate the super chat. That's so very great. I'm so very grateful. There is a tip jar, folks, and I will certainly accept that. I appreciate it. I'm so grateful for all of you guys. Beam oil, monkey food. You mean neem oil? I don't know if neem oil would help. It would probably help with the earwigs. Neem oil is good for a lot of things, but I think you'd want to go more nuclear on those earwigs. Let's see. Lovage as a single seed challenge. Connie, I don't know. Never grown that. Sounds like something hard to start. You tried 3 times. Let's see. Y'all are going so fast I can't keep up. Hey, Jason, Green Country Agroforestry. There's some good advice. If you follow Green Country Agroforestry, Jason knows his stuff. Go check out his channel. He is a smart gardener, knows his stuff. Yeah, Elegant, you don't want to use poison, but see, the thing about Spinosad, BT and pyrethrins, as they are not, like manufactured chemical poisons. They are natural things. The BT is a bacteria. Pyrethrin comes from flowers, and spinosad is I don't know what it derives from, but it's a natural thing, and they dissipate really quickly. I had cucumber beetles last year, and I sprayed with pyrethrins, and it knocked them back and really helped save my crop. So the problem with spinosad is it will kill bees, so you have to spray when you're not having a lot of blossoms going on, or you'll kill the bees too. So backyard agriculture, put one of those 20-gallon pots inside a big black pot. Yes, I will. Whenever I get the chance, I will do that, Frank. I just hadn't got a chance to do it. And Frank, 3 of those pots cracked on me, man. I left them out in the sun, and I got cracks in them. So I know they were cheap, but they are kind of cheap. But yes, I'll do that for you, Frank. Those 20-gallon pots aren't really 20 gallons. The ones you get at Home Depot, they say they're 20 gallons, but they're not. But I got some 25-gallon pots. Is that what they were, Frank? My buddy Frank up in Michigan, backyard agriculture there, he turned me onto these pots. And Michigan, did I say something different? Michigan, he's in Flint. He turned me on these pots that I ordered online somewhere for $13. When I show them online on a video, I'll tell you where I got them from. I'm going to put some trees in those. Yeah, elegant. Spinosad will hurt pollinators, so you want to spray only when you don't have blossoms in your garden. It's bacterial based. There we go. Spinosad is bacterial based. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, 25-gallon. I thought so. And they're a big, big pots, man. You could take a bath in those things if they didn't have holes in them. So, hey, Suze, you grew nasturtiums. I grew some nasturtiums in my Armenian cucumbers a few years ago, and they grew well. I could hardly get them to come up though under the grow lights, but I got some of them to come up, and when I planted them out, they did well. But those Armenian cucumbers, I didn't like them; they were awful. I don't like cucumbers unless you can pickle them. So those Armenian cucumbers were more of a novelty, and man, they were a powdery mildew magnet. And that was just a bad part of my garden that year. Let's see here. Isolated it growing on sugarcane. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, yeah, I'm not used to your name being backyard agriculture, Frank. Not yet, but Frank and I sometimes chat on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook chat for a long time, Frank, as you know, but I'll get back there one of these days. If you want to ask me a question, I have a Facebook page. I generally miss a lot of questions there. In fact, I got somebody talking to me today. About how I didn't answer her question, and she was not happy with me. Well, I get dozens and dozens of questions a day on Facebook that sometimes I don't see because I don't go to Facebook that much. But if you want me to answer your question, leave a comment in the video. And I read all the comments, and I give everyone a thumbs up. And if you have a question, I'll generally answer your question in the comments. That's the place to have a question answered. Then if you decide that you need to send me a picture or something, I'll tell you, just post it on my Facebook page and I'll take a look at it there. And that way I'll intentionally go over to Facebook and take a look. So yeah, thank you, Monkey Mommy. Thumbs up would be nice. This video, I haven't done a video this week. I did one, Monday? Was it Monday? I did a video Monday, but I felt like I was phoning it in because I just went out and enjoyed my garden and didn't teach much. But people seemed to like that video, so yeah, it was a fun video to make. It was an easy video to make. I enjoyed it, but man, I was tired this week, so I'm going to start. I'm going to do a video. Probably shoot a video tomorrow and Monday, and those will be my sweet potato video, probably, and my soil review from OrchidSupplyStore.com. So I know a lot of y'all don't care for reviewing products, but a lot of people do. And Ken sent me some good product. I'm going to review it for him and make sure that you guys know that there's a resource out there you can get that is excellent. My son, my oldest son, is looking for about 30 bags of potting soil. And potting soil is so high right now. Man, I went and bought potting soil. It was $9 a bag when last year it was $5 a bag. And my son all of a sudden is into gardening and has a whole bunch of tomatillos and peppers and fruit trees to plant. He needs some potting soil. And man, he's been trying to find a way to get that done cheaply. I found potting soil at our local grocery store today, HEB, for $2.50 a bag. Now it's their gut rot low bargain basement brand. So I don't know how good it is, but I mean, if you got to fill a lot of cloth pots, then that would be the way to go. So I turned him on to that. He said he's going to go clean them out. Frank, no, we don't have those stores here. We were talking about those stores last night at our family night. We have a friend that was down in town from Minnesota, and they were talking about that store. So no, we don't have those. We have the best store in Texas is the HEB grocery store, and they're not outside of Texas. In fact, the store you're talking about, I don't know how to say it, Major. They looked into coming into Texas, but they said, no, HEB is there. We have no business going to Texas. So HEB has been a great, it's an awesome grocery store, and they have an awesome gardening department. They have some of the best plants I've seen, better than like Bonnie plants. I bought my strawberries at HEB, and they are ever-bearing varieties, and they're doing quite well. I'm getting some berries for them right now. So let's see. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. It's snowing. WC Rex 103 Nelson. Wow. I think we're out of winter. It's hot here. It's going to be 90 degrees this weekend. But I can't imagine it snowing right now. Kitty W, you enjoyed the tour of my space and seeing how the garden is progressing. I'm glad. A lot of people do seem to enjoy the garden tours. Let's Grow Texas. Yeah, I use Kellogg's Organic. That's my favorite brand, but it's so expensive right now. But speaking of garden tours, many of you have commented on Samson, the Daikon radish, and yeah, Samson was sterile, not producing seeds, so Samson came out. Well, he didn't come out; he's still there, but I chopped him flush with the brick, so Samson's a goner, and I can't get that out. But at least no weeds are going to grow in there for a while. Is that a Gadsden flag behind me? Who asked that? I saw that go by. Jay Dixon. No, it's a Culpeper flag. It's the Culpeper militia flag from the American War for Independence. I'm independence-minded, and there is actually part of a gun collection right under there. I'm kind of one of those kind of guys. So, yeah, that's the Culpeper flag. So Gadsden flag is the yellow one with the snake on it. And don't tread on me. So this is, let's see, the Culpeper Minuteman. And we used to fly these flags when we'd go out and have group gun shoots and things like that. So, yeah, Lila L, no more Samson. Let it grow. R.I.P. Samson. Yeah, he's gone. He's done. I was tired of walking around him and he wasn't producing any seeds, and the flowering was becoming less prolific. So Samson had to go away. Let's see, Acre, Brett, you got a basic potting mix, big ball of peat moss, compost, and vermiculite or perlite. Yes, I like to do I told my son last night while we were trying to figure out how he could make potting soil less expensive. Perlite, peat moss, and compost. And I like 1-1-1 ratio, with the perlite being a little bit less of a 1, if you understand. So that's a great basic potting mix. The problem is I'm wary of compost from outside sources these days because of the herbicide threat. It's almost everywhere, and hard to get good compost these days. So let's see. I've noticed potting soils have much more bark than normal lately. Lower quality, I think, has to do with the demand. Low Country Gardener, thanks for that comment. Yeah, I got some soil. My neighbor gave me some bags of quote garden soil that he had bought, and he had a surplus of it and he didn't want. He's like, hey, you want these? I said, sure. Took that garden soil and I topped one of my beds with it, and it was mostly wood chips. It was like very finely ground wood chips, but it felt more like mulch. So I didn't mix that stuff in. But it germinated some cucumbers for me, so it worked. Yeah, Kellogg's is $8 for 2 cubic foot bag. It's $9 here. It's like $8.99 here. And I picked some up without looking at the price a couple of weeks ago. I threw it on the cart and went to check out. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what's so expensive here? I had to look at the receipt and I was shocked. And the lady checking me out was just shaking her head, thinking, yeah, everybody's a bit shocked by the prices. So, hey, Will It Grow, thank you for moderating tonight, and sleep well. I hope you do well. You two are a leader in the YouTube gardening community, and I appreciate your videos. Hope you have a good day tomorrow, brother. Thanks. Compost, 3 were compost and the other were wood chips. Hannah Gunn, wow. Yeah, it's hard to find good materials these days. You got to make your own. I've been trying to make my own compost in earnest for a couple of years now, and I generally make enough to amend my beds, but I kind of feel like I need to make more. And so I've been doing a lot of green material from the kitchen and the garden scraps. They go in. I put shredded paper. I put shredded paper in the compost bin in layers like lasagna, and it's been pretty good to make good compost. So it's been good. Let's see, mushroom compost. That's what I told my son to look. Mushroom compost is probably a better choice than some manure-based compost. Tammy, that's a good suggestion. So better to make it in bulk if you're worried about cost. Sorry, a little belching there. So I see a lot of questions going by that I'm missing. I'm sorry I'm missing them, but I'm trying to catch some of these questions. What are you trying new this season? WC Rex 103 Nelson, I'm not doing anything new this season, I don't think. Let me think. This season, I decided to just kind of grow the stuff that I want to grow, the things that I'm comfortable with. I'm growing garlic this season, but I really started that last year. Rachel from Oxheart Gardening came and we planted garlic together, and now it's growing in earnest. It's the first time I grew garlic, believe it or not. But I don't think I'm growing anything new this year. Not doing anything in the garden that is challenging or new because I simply want to enjoy the fruits of my labor. So herbs, tomatoes, peppers, squash. I'm going to grow sweet potatoes in the summer, cowpeas in the summer, eggplant in the summer, lima beans in the summer. I'm growing some rattlesnake pole beans this year. I've never grown those before. But again, that's just a pole bean. So if you've grown a pole bean, it's like every other pole bean. So not much new. Jay Dixon, you built beds with hugelkultur underneath and then amend the good soil on top. That's what I did. I've done that a couple of times. I've done that in several beds, and they're performing well. Sometimes your first season with a hugelkultur bed will be a little sketchy, but it's kind of that way with any new bed if you import materials. But my blackberries are growing great in my hugelkultur bed, and I've got some strawberries in there too. And my garlic's growing in a hugelkultur bed. My herb bed is a hugelkultur bed. My son at Black Gumbo Southern Gardening South is growing turnips and what did he show me last night? Turnips and something else in a hugelkultur bed that we put in one of those Veggie Garden metal beds, and it's working out great for him. So it's a good way to fill a bed cheaply. Let's see here. A pet rabbit. Yes, just dump that rabbit poo right into the garden. It's amazing fertilizer. Go follow Dirt Patch Heaven. Julie at Dirt Patch Heaven. She lives up in the cold, blowing north somewhere in Iowa or Idaho or something. And it's frigid. And they've got like 105 days growing season. But she grows in these hotbeds and greenhouses. And she puts her rabbit cages directly on top of the beds. And she is like the queen of rabbit poop and manure and keeping your beds warm. Julie at Dirt Patch Heaven, a good channel to follow. Even if you don't live in those cold regions, you can learn a lot. We can glean from one another. John up in Massachusetts, Will It Grow? I glean from him all the time, and we have our seasons are wildly different. So gardeners can glean from one another quite well if you just pay attention and listen and watch and learn. So let's see here. Brett, are those Mexican sunflowers? Are those diversifolia? There's Tithonia diversifolia, and there's Tithonia something else that's not the one that makes the great chop and drop. If you've got some Diversifolia, I'll take it. I had some seeds, but they didn't come up for me the last time I tried. Wanda Sherman, I wish I understood why your seedlings were looking so poor. The only seedlings that are growing well are the jalapenos and cayenne. The bell peppers were planted in the beginning of March and are around an inch high. Wanda, sometimes those pepper plants just take a while to get going, or if they're, you got to make sure they're getting enough light. If they have a good color, if they're a nice rich green, then maybe it's a light issue, but if they're not real green, it might be they're just sickly, not good seed. If they're getting true leaves by now and the true leaves are yellowing, then you probably should hit them with a very mild solution of fish emulsion. They might need some nitrogen. So, yeah, the dogs, I think, went in, Jan. That my next door neighbor has a dog flap. Husky can come in and out, but the husky never barks. He's fine. He's quiet. But they've got some visitors here that have two boxers, and they were out there going out of their minds, barking at everything. I saw something about an Anna apple. Where did I see that? Eagle Lover, Texas. Your Anna apple, pear, and peach are not budded out yet. Are yours? You know what? My Anna is budded out and growing vigorously because I bought a new one to replace an old tree that didn't make it. My peach tree, I don't have a peach tree, but I have a plum tree, so a stone fruit. It just now started budding out about 2 weeks ago. I've got some apple trees that are budding out and doing well, while some of the late producers are not. And that's why when you plant apple trees and you need cross-pollination, you need to select varieties that blossom at the same time. If they bud out early, it's likely they blossom earlier and they'll cross-pollinate. If they're later types, like my Fuji hadn't put out a leaf yet. My son's Fuji at his house hasn't put a leaf out yet. And I've got my Fuji, and I think it's the Shell of Alabama. It might be the Dixie Red Delight. Well, I've got a couple of apples that are late producers, and they haven't even put out any new growth yet. I think one of them has a few leaves at the top, but yeah, you gotta wait on some of those. It takes a while, and since we had a weird year last year, I think there's some normalization going on. So yeah, I'm keeping a watch on them. My peach, I do have a peach tree, and it did bud out. It's budding out real nicely, but it's its first year in the ground, so I have no expectations on how it will perform. I don't really have a benchmark to measure it by. But oils for passive irrigation. Alla. No, I've never tried that. Hannah Gun. Maybe someone here has. Let's see. Let me scroll down and catch up with some things here. Tithonia Diversifolia. Yeah, well, I'll take some of that. I think you've got my address, man. Let me know what I can send you in return, brother. And Lauren, you're always trying to send me seeds. You sent me some Seminole pumpkins, didn't you? A while back. Yeah, Diversifolia. Well, I'll take Diversifolia. And Lauren, I need to know what I can send you as well. Lauren and Brett have both sent me seeds in the past, and I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like, well, now I have to send seeds to my friends. You know how it is. But YouTube gardening community seed swaps are always an interesting way to find varieties of seeds that you can't really get elsewhere. Brett sent me some Everglades tomato seeds this year, and I appreciate that, Brett. I'm really grateful. Hello, Vancouver, Canada, Vancouver Island. How you doing, Zachary? You came in just as I'm about to wrap up in a few moments. Let's see how many folks. We got 127 folks on. I'll keep going for a little bit, just to get to know some of you guys that are new names here. So many new subscribers. I really appreciate that. 150,000 subscribers is flooring to me. It's amazing. Buffering there, Yolanda? I'm sorry. I can't do anything about the buffering. We've got folks that have had some sound problems this evening, but they seem to resolve themselves. So, wow, a 30-foot tall moringa tree. That's crazy. I can't even grow a moringa tree. I can't get them to come up. Wow, 30 feet tall. That's crazy. Well, you guys, please let me know the kinds of content that you find most helpful. I've asked already. You've helped me with some ideas. But I want to make content on my channel that you guys want to see, that is helpful to see, and it's not just you can sit down, with your cup of coffee and enjoy somebody's garden. I know people like those videos too, and I'm going to continue to do the garden tours and the enjoy the garden with me. But we do appreciate the gardening question and answers. Hey Gail, how you doing from Baytown? Your neighbor. Last time I was in Baytown was the first funeral. Hey, do they still have the Baytown Tunnel, or did they implode that thing? When I was in high school at Dobie High School in Pasadena, we used to take the Baytown Tunnel to go play football games over there. That was a weird thing, riding a school bus through a 2-lane tunnel under the ship channel, always wondering if it was going to crack and flood us out of there. Yeah, so it's live streams. Suburban Hillbilly, everybody loves the live stream. You know what? I should do live streams more. I enjoy being on other people's live streams. There's a lot of people in my chat panel right over here that I recognize from other people's live streams, and we really have a community in certain live streams, and maybe I should do this more. So if you'd like to see more live streams, let me know. Tammy Bolender says, I like that you show the bugs and how you deal with them. If you plan on using the squash pit method this year, you plan on using the squash pit method this year. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to show you whatever's going on in my garden. Last year when we had pestilence sweep through the garden, I told my wife, hey, at least it's a video. I can show people how to deal with the problems, right? There's no reason to try to hide your problems. I mean, I didn't cause the pests to come, Things happen to all of us good gardeners that pests happen and pestilence comes, bad weather comes, you get a hold of some bad seed, you get some aminopyrrolate herbicide damage, whatever. It happens to all of us. Might as well show it so the rest of us can learn from it. And so that's what I'm going to do. Lucas, no, I'm not going to get chickens. I'm in a neighborhood and my dog would go berserk with chickens. My son had about 40 chickens for a while, but he doesn't have chickens anymore because his dogs went berserk and it became too much for him. But we did have chickens for a while. He got tons of eggs. Chickens have so many benefits. I'd like to have like 4 chickens in my backyard, but I have to consider my dog. And yeah. Jay Dixon says that Gardner Scott's Monday live stream, that's a good community to be in. If you can join Gardner Scott's channel over there, Gardner Scott is a good gardener. I'm a member of his channel, and I like to join his live stream every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. I think it's 10 a.m. Central. It's 10 a.m. for me, and I'm Central. So, yeah, and Jason says live streams are a great way for chit-chatting with other gardeners and swap tons of info. Yeah, I think if you're in this stream now and you're participating in the chat, you're seeing that it's a great way to grow together as a gardening community. Yeah, they sunk the tunnel and built the Fred Hartman Bridge. You know what? I knew Fred Hartman. Fred Hartman was, if it's the same Fred Hartman, and I think it was, he was in an iron lung back in the day. Maybe it's not the same Fred Hartman. But when I was a teenager, I used to go and do service ministries for Boy Scouts and for a Boy Scout religious medal type thing. And I visited with a guy named Fred Hartman, and he lived in an iron lung. He could only come out an hour a day because he had polio back in the day. And I would go sit and talk with him. And I always thought that, man, this dude's life depends on that little motor beneath his iron lung staying lubricated. And he had cans of Valvoline motor oil down there that they would keep that thing lubricated with. And yeah, Fred Hartman. My wife hates driving over that bridge. You love the live streams, Connie. I do too. Yeah, Gardner Scott's a good guy. He knows his stuff. Let's see here. More live streams also. Org Crad. You like low, no budget solutions to common problems. I'm going to support my retirement. Yeah, low budget is always better budget. It's I try to keep things on the cheap when I can. Sometimes I got to buy a bag of potting soil though. So Pretty Alice Moon, welcome. You are a long-time subscriber. Appreciate your kind remarks. Jan Palika, you appreciate the video about herbicide damage from the straw. Yeah, that was hay that I brought in, and it did wreck my garden. And then we did some videos on the the damages of that. We did the videos on how to remediate for that. That sounds like a Finnish name. Is that a Finnish last name? I'm fond of Finland, and I don't know why. Yeah, I try to keep it simple, Ronald. I do. Try to keep things simple because, well, I'm a simple guy, and I'm not going to get into all these formulas and being really precise. It just doesn't work for me. I'm more a little, I'm more about simple gardening and easy gardening. So, rice hull mulch, Mildred Chrisick. I still love rice hull mulch. I just don't have any at the moment. I've got maybe a gallon left, and I need to order some more. But I haven't been potting up a bunch of fruit trees, and that's generally what I use it for: is fruit trees and potted vegetable gardens. Um, I just don't have any at the moment. Rice hull mulch is good as an amendment for the soil as well. You can make biochar from rice hull. You can use it as a substitute for perlite because it's not like bark. It stays in the soil and doesn't break down easily. So yeah, rice hull mulch is a good thing. If you don't know about rice hull mulch, go to A.M. Leonard online, and they sell bales of it. I think I bought a giant bale of it. It was like 4 feet tall, and that was 4 years ago, and it was about $60 delivered, and it lasted me for years. So, Deb, the corgi mom, thank you so much. You know what? If you're a corgi mom, you'll appreciate this. I took Phoebe to the groomer today at our local feed store. There's a little groomer in there. And when I went to pick her up, there was another corgi right next to her in the kennel, and I'd never seen that corgi before. He was a nice. Phoebe's the burnt loaf, and this one was the toasted loaf. The brown and white variety, the tan and white. But this dog was he was very dark brown and very beautiful, very very striking corgi, and he barked his head off at me, but he was a good boy. Yeah, I love corgis. But I tell you what, I'll never have another corgi again. Once Phoebe is gone, I'm going to get me a pound dog, some dog that was rescued off the streets as a tough dog. Is I'm going to blow his knee out. I'm going to get me some mutt that has regressed so far back in genetics that they've got nothing to worry about. They're just survivors. So, Empress Kimberly, companion planting and non-companion planting info would be helpful. I almost planted onions with your garlic. You learned it's a no-no. Yeah, the thing I like to do when I'm planting a crop and putting something next to it is just research those two crops and uh, Google that crop name with the words companion planting, and you'll find all these lists of what are good to plant, what's not good to plant next to them. I learned that I could plant my dill next to my garlic and it'd be fine. So generally, I don't worry too much about it unless I've got some crops that I suspect might not do well together. But again, I keep it kind of simple. Um, yeah, pound dogs are the best in your opinion. I hope I said that right. Yeah, pound dogs, man. Some of those street dogs. They just my son picked up a street dog, and she is a good dog. Yeah, maybe get chickens after Phoebe's gone. Maybe so. There's something about a dog though. I'm just a dog guy. I gotta have a dog. And I'm such a dog guy that I think ahead, and I think, how many more dogs can I have before I die? Who knows? I might die tonight, but considering the insurance averages, I've got some decades left, and I don't want to die and leave a dog behind. So at some point, maybe I just need to get chickens. Thank you, Lauren. You have a great resurrection day as well, and thank you for congratulations on Sam's baptism. Have a good night, Lauren. Yeah, Claudia, we got to 150. It rolled over last night, so we're at 150K. And thank you for showing up and saying something and commenting. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'll get attached to my chickens too. You know what? I was attached to my son's guard geese, Donald Trump and Ivanka. Those were his two geese, and I was attached to them. But they moved down the road there's a little farm down the road from my son's house where they have a big flock of these Chinese geese, and they do a little bit of farm animal rescue. And so when they heard that Donald and Ivanka were needing a new home because they were about to get killed by his growing dogs, um, they took them in. And so now we drive by and we wave at Donald. So Yep. Well, folks, thank you for joining me tonight. It's 8:10. We've been on for about an hour and 10 minutes. And I really appreciate getting to see some new faces here in the chat. And I really appreciate getting to answer a few questions. I know I missed a lot of your questions. I did. I mean, there's tons of questions, 100 people asking questions. And I'm sorry if I missed your question tonight. Um, I'll try to catch them next time. We'll do some more live streams more frequently. And yeah, it's so I'm so humbled that you guys follow my channel, that you like my channel, you comment in this comment section, and that I recognize so many of you from the comment section and from just the gardening community. Thank you, Raindrop Life. I appreciate that. And yeah, thank you, Connie. I've enjoyed being here tonight too. You have a wonderful Lord's Day as well. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Hannah. I'm so grateful for all of you being here. Hey, I'm going to call it a night. If you missed some of it and you want to go back and just hang out with us some more, this video will be archived on my channel as a past live stream. And I have now checked that the chat will be there, the replay. On previous live streams, apparently I didn't have the chat replay turned on, so you didn't get to see all this wonderful stuff. When we have a live stream, what goes on in the chat, that's what I like the most. I follow David the Good and listen to his live streams so often, but I go to his live streams mainly to meet up with all the gardening channel chat guys. So thanks, Frank. You have a good night too. Good night, Jan. Y'all have a good evening. I'm going to call it a night. I hope you have a happy Resurrection Day this coming Sunday. If you're a believer, rejoice on that day and make it special. And I will talk to you next time, and I'll have a few videos coming out this week. And until then, have happy gardening. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.